Okay, so an NFL draft analyst says the Eagles are keeping an eye on a prospect, and if he falls, they will strike. Meanwhile, we hear a couple more draft rumors that some Eagle fans don't like, plus a new team that could be in the market for Dallas Goedert. So much to break down, including what Jahan Dotson said about A.J. Brown. And John Beck, who previously trained Tom Brady, has some interesting things to say about Jalen Hurts' offseason. But first, Howie Roseman reveals what he actually says to GMs to get these trades.
What's your go-to opening line when you want to make a deal with another team? Well, as you guys know, I have a go-to opening line whenever I see anyone. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
How does a trade work on draft day? Hey, buddy, you want to make a trade? Yeah, what are you thinking? I'm thinking this. What are you thinking? That sounds good. Trade.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. If you rock with our Philadelphia Eagles, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you don't miss the videos. So since we are 2 days away from the NFL draft, let's start this video off by talking about the player who wore number 2 his rookie season, Jalen Hurts. Philadelphia Eagles Central tweeted, trending, Jalen Hurts officially got married to longtime girlfriend Bry Burrows this spring, according to at Men's Health magazine. So I just want to congratulate him on ring number 2. Hopefully the second ring is as successful as the first one for many years. With that being said, just looking back at some of his rookie highlights, we all should have knew Jalen Hurts was destined for greatness. Just yesterday, Rich Eisen spoke with Jalen Hurts' trainer, and you got to hear the question and answer about his offseason.
Jalen Hurts is one of your guys. How do you think he's going to be now that he's got a ring and he's done it and he has completed the mission once? What do you think he looks like having that now as a base of operations for him in Philadelphia?
Well, I can tell you this, because he was just on the field last week. When a guy shows up after winning the Super Bowl and he is focused on little details, I'm talking little details to enhance things by fractions of the second. When you take that approach after reaching the pinnacle, that's that like, and I don't want to like say it too soon or anything like that, but I think when I think of like the Michael Jordans, the Kobe Bryants, those type guys, that had to be their approach. Like, okay, I got to the summit. I want to do it again, but I'm not going to go as the same player. I'm going to try to do it again as even a better player. And that's the approach that I've seen him take this offseason.
What's an example of what the little things that he's worked on?
A little arm path thing to get the ball out just a titch sooner. You don't need it in all your throws, but if you can have that here or there, and that can be the difference in, and that may only be like 2 to 3 completions over a 2 to 3 game span. But what if those are on critical third downs in the fourth quarter? What if that's the difference maker? That's where I believe his mindset is at. And so it's cool, it's cool to see that. You would not know standing out on the field that the approach is any different from a season where you might have felt like, man, that didn't go like we want. We need to be pedal to the metal. We need to be doing everything we can. There's not a different approach now that he's won the Super Bowl. It's the same approach.
That's what I'm talking about. As Jalen Hurts says, rare breed, one of one. This is what separates him, mindset, and even skill set from other quarterbacks. It might not always look pretty, but when you need to play, arm, leg, it doesn't matter. I'm going to deliver. This dude is Mr. Clutch. He did it all this year. He did it in the Super Bowl, and now everybody realizes, except for the football nerds that say, well, he hasn't had a 4,000-yard passing season or 25-plus passing touchdowns, blah, blah, blah. Shut up. This guy can do it all, but he only cares about winning, so he does what needs to be done. You know what? Let's actually give away a free Jalen Hurts jersey. I know a lot of people already got them, but guess what? You don't got every color. You can get any color you want. All you got to do is like the video, subscribe to the channel, go to the comment section and type in Jalen Hurts MVP, and I'll pick a lucky winner in the next couple days after the draft to win a Jalen Hurts jersey. Lastly, on Jalen Hurts, what makes people so mad is he is everywhere. He's the talk of the offseason. He's becoming the face of the NFL, and everybody who doubted him, everybody who still tries to disrespect him, absolutely can't stand it, but there's nothing they could do about it. Moving on to some Eagle draft news, but first, Shane Steichen, coach of the Indianapolis Colts, had this to say today at his presser. The team is looking to add a pass-catching tight end, possibly via the draft. Interested. Now, a lot of people have them linked to Tyler Warren, but let's just say they wanted to use the 14th overall pick on somebody else. We got a guy who's on the trade block. Not only is Dallas Goedert on the trade block, there's history between these two teams via trades and on the coaching staff. Now, let me clarify something. I'm not physically looking to get rid of Dallas Goedert. I'm just following the tea leaves of him being on the trade block all offseason and what we can do via the draft to move up, move back, gain picks for something else. I don't know. I low-key would love for him to stay, but the simple fact is he wants a new deal. We haven't gave him a new deal. He got no guarantee money on the last year of his deal, and his cap hit is too high for Howie's liking. But if he's here after the draft, maybe behind the scenes they have been talking about a team-friendly renegotiation. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But draft night is going to be interesting on so many levels, especially with what Daniel Jeremiah, draft analyst, said to John Clark on his latest podcast. He said, and I quote, "It's impossible to make a prediction of who's going to be there at 32, but I will make a prediction that if, for some reason, people overthink Jalen Walker like they overthought Nolan Smith, oh, he's not big enough, and the size, if he starts to drift and drop, I'm like, oh my gosh, they could just do the exact same thing all over again." So Daniel Jeremiah, a guy who worked in Philly, is a draft analyst, knows Howie Roseman, and Howie Roseman goes off of some of his top guys simply because Daniel Jeremiah was higher on Jalen Hunt than a lot of other draft analysts, and Howie said it. He believes that Howie Roseman will keep an eye on Jalen Walker, the linebacker slash pass rusher out of Georgia, and if he falls, could be the Eagles' target. And with Fangio, who knows what he would excel at in the NFL? More of a pass rusher or a linebacker? We just saw what he did with Zach Bond. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section on that. As for some other draft news that might make you feel a little different, although you got to remember that the most rumors come out a day or two before the draft simply because a lot of teams are setting up smoke screens. That being said, Tony Pauly, who did predict the Eagles to draft Quinyon Mitchell, said this, and I quote, "In conversations last week, I was informed that Fami will end up being selected anywhere from pick 30 to 45, besides the Niners, who pick 43. I'm told the Philadelphia Eagles with the last pick in round 1, as well as the Tennessee Titans and New England Patriots at the top of round 2, are possibilities to pull the trigger on Fami." Of course, that's not his real name. I can't pronounce it. I'm going to go off his nickname. I will learn his name if the Eagles draft him. Now, Fami is a 6'3", 249-pound edge rusher out of UCLA, but he wasn't a pass rusher his whole career in college. He used to play off-ball linebacker, then made the move to pass rusher in 2023 and had a strong season as a pass rusher in 2024. What jumps off the tape is his run defense as an edge because he got the background as an off-ball linebacker. However, his pass rush moves have gotten better, and he's only been playing it for such a little time. Again, you never really know how the draft goes, and I was okay with the Eagles drafted him if it was in the second round, simply because I'm not sure how much of an impact he'll make right away, especially with all the pass rushers we have. I think as a developmental piece, he can contribute a little bit this year's rotation and get better as he goes on. But according to Tony Pauly, he's heard that the Eagles are in for him, possibly at 32. We did bring him in on a top 30 visit. If we move back a little bit or take him, if he's there with the 64th pick, I'm okay. I'm just not sure how it will be if it's at 32. But again, who am I to question what Vic Fangio sees out of this kid? On that note, I will be live on Thursday for round 1, streaming the draft. We'll have Eagle content creators on here as well. But if I had to pick the perfect scenario, it's either Malachi Starks or Walter Nolan. That would be my best case scenario. Lastly, as I said yesterday, A.J. Brown ain't going anywhere. It's impossible to trade him via the dead cap, Adam Schefter confirmed it, but I guess the intro of yesterday's video made a couple people mad, but the real ones listened to what I said about it, and I'm a big A.J. Brown fan. Not just me. Listen to what Jahan Dotson said about A.J. Brown.
AJ, bro, he's the greatest. I think he's the greatest receiver ever. Like, watching him in practice every day.
That's a high praise, man.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. Bro,
Ever?
Bro, I tell people this all the time, bro. There was one practice, like, leading up to the playoffs. It was like a Thursday practice. We went inside, right? It was raining crazy. And Smitty wasn't out there, and I was, like, barely practicing. So AJ was the only one practicing. Bro, and I kid you not, just this random day, he decided to only use one hand. Bro, he was going fed, bro. Like, just snagging. We were just calling go balls, like, go, double move, go. Bro, throwing it up, one hand, everything. I'm like, that's when I knew he was different. That's when I knew, like, it's really levels to this. Like, it's crazy.
Shout out to the Sit Down podcast who had Jahan Dotson on. Go check that out. But he's just one of them ones. A.J. Brown will be here the duration of his contract. Heck, he might even get one more. The Eagles did not lose a game last year where Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown played the whole game. Let that sink in. With all that being said, I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk Podcast. Leave all your thoughts in the comment section. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell. And drop the muscle emoji if you got nothing to say. We Philly strong, and we out.